Shadow Cacturne going to fire off the Trailblaze, looking to remove Malamar from the field of play. The opponent invests their first Protect Shield, looking to force Conviper all shields down. Conviper going to oblige, putting up that final Protect Shield. Talonflame likely returns and might expect to fully wall us. However, this trainer might be in for one hell of a surprise. We're going straight for the Dark Pulse. Does the opponent respect the damage? Welcome back to the channel. If you're a Shadow Pokemon enthusiast like myself, you're in for one hell of a treat today, as my good friend Conviper is showcasing, quite frankly, one of the most ridiculous triple Shadow teams I have ever seen. Content creators like myself and Callum on Toast essentially revolve most of our content around glass cannons and spicy attack-weighted Pokemon. But even by our standards, this team is ridiculously classy. The bulkiest member of Conviper's team is ironically a Shadow Typhlosion. Take a moment and let that sink in. Despite both me and Callum not being complete potatoes, when we're on these sort of teams, we're not particularly any elo that is anything to write home about. Conviper's actually battling some of the best trainers in the world, and he's going to showcase a 12-3 run that took him to 3100 elo. I'm a trainer who pretty much uses nothing but Shadow Pokemon, and I've got quite a lot of experience using all three of these Shadow Glass Cannons. Both Typhlosion and Primeape are two of my favourite Pokemon to use. Whenever I use either one of them, I'm always looking to save it 2 shields. I've never attempted to put these 3 Glass Cannons all on the same team, and if I'm honest, I've got no idea what I'd shield and how this team would work. However, thankfully, Conviper's going to show us how it's done. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles! And in game 1, we see the battle of the glass cannons. Shadow Typhlosion into Dragonite. Conviper happy to stay in. Go straight for the Thunder Punch. Typhlosion with the pace and advantage in this matchup. Outpace into the Dragon Claw by 2 turns. We force the Protect Shield. See the save switch into Primeape. We see the instant shield deployed, blocking up the incoming Dragon Claw. Conviper wastes no time. Goes straight for the Rage Fist. Looking to apply yet more shield pressure to this opponent. The opponent 2 shields Dragonite. Primeape potentially to reach one more Rage Fist, so the opponent opts to dump their energy. This is kind of awkward for us. Whilst we could Sucker Punch Farm down, we take too much damage, so let's see what Conviper looks to do. Conviper waits out his clock, sends out Typhlosion. Typhlosion looks for the Incinerate Farm down, unfortunately unable to get it. We do put it in a range where we can Sucker Punch Farm down and not take too much damage. Out comes Clodsire. Have you ever seen Poison Sting do so much damage? Conviper wastes no time, goes straight for the Trailblaze. Trailblaze hits for neutral and vamps up our attack. Cacturne rapidly running out of HP. The opponent recognises they're going to get farmed down. Pivot into Lapras. Lapras going to make a very brief cameo appearance straight in and straight out. We Sucker Punch farm down Clodsire and take that game. Oof, that was close. Heading into the next battle, we found ourselves a problem, and its name is Shadow Drapion. We see the instant pivot into Primeape. The opponent pivots into Jumpluff, but the switch wasn't the quickest. Conviper goes straight for the Ice Punch, double super effective, forcing the first Protect Shield of the game. As the opponent was slow on the switch, I agree with this shield, as we're going to either force the opponent all shields down or cleanly remove Jumpluff from the field of play. Let's see what the opponent wants to do. We go straight for the next Ice Punch. Get that Jumpluff off my screen. Primeape able to farm down, and out comes Lapras. Lapras not going to appreciate this Rage Fist or the boosted Karate Chops. The opponent looking for that Sidewave farm down. Primeape says no, and Primeape absolutely popping off. The boosted Rage Fist forces the opponent's final Protect Shield, and I think here we just completely sack Cacturne and put all our faith in Typhlosion. It looks like Conviper agrees, sends Cacturne into the arena. If they've got Ice Beam, so be it. I think we've always got to save a shield for Typhlosion. Conviper does no shield. The opponent go for Sparkling Aria bait, send out Drapion, and this is definitely a situation where it's super unfortunate we've got no Dynamic Punch, but all of that Dark Pulse did a lot. We see the snipe attempt with Typhlosion, but I don't think that's one Incinerate range. And if it isn't, the opponent's going to reach yet another Aqua Tail. In Typhlosion, I believe. You're the bulkiest member of the team, buddy. Do you survive an Aqua Tail? Yes, you do. Who was worried? Evidently I was, but Conviper able to leave with the Thunder Punch and take that game. Oof, another sweaty battle. Heading into battle number 3. We lead Shadow Typhlosion into Alolan Ninetales. What a lead. The opponent save switches into Lapras. Conviper gonna stay in, go for some chip-it-up action, then likely send out Cacturne. Thunder Punch, force the Protect Shield, and Cacturne hits the field of play. I've used Cacturne a lot and I've never been ice beamed. Everyone throws a Sparkling Aria bait. Right on cue, there is that bait, which makes very little sense as we're always outpacing to the Trailblaze, but people are just creatures of habit, thinking Shadow Pokemon shield everything. We fire off the Trailblaze, removing Lapras from the field of play. Back out comes Ninetales, looking for the farm down. Cacturne says no, reach the Trailblaze. Trailblaze goes unshielded and down goes Ninetales. Out comes Shadow Gator. Shadow Gators took so much damage already that is quite frankly absurd. Cacturne almost sweeps the entire team. We send out Typhlosion just to force the energy. Send out Primeape. We would karate chop farm down. The opponent recognises the game's over and they concede the match. Heading into the next battle, Conviper, a victim of the algorithm. I'm just kidding, but what an awful lead. Typhlosion stares down Shadow Kanto Marowak. We say switch into Primeape and out comes Toxapex. Toxapex is so bloody bulky, it's one of the few Pokemon that do a good job of sponging this energy. However, the opponent look for that full Poison Jab farm down. We're actually going to reach one further Rage Fist. Whilst this won't be lethal, it will leave them low. Okay, we might be able to karate chop farm down. Oof, it's a Simul KO, and we now find ourselves in the guessing game. If we can guess right, we might be able to flip this match up. We send out Cacturne to greet Marowak. Okay, please tell me Typhlosion's good against what's in the back. We get baited with the Bone Club. The opponent sends out Dugong, and here comes Typhlosion. Are we going to look to call the bait, or are we going to correctly shield up a draw on Conviper shields? The opponent full sends, that is a huge shield deployed. One Incinerate and the Thunder Punch for optimal fast move timing. To get the most out of this glassy team, your fast move timing really does need to be on point. Again, very nice timing. One Incinerate and the move, only giving the opponent one free turn. Thunder Punch forces the opponent all shields down. The opponent going to fire off the drill run, removing us from the field of play, and it's all down to Cacturne to clean up. Cacturne re-enters the arena. The opponent tries to make the catch. We see it coming in. Going to fire off the Trailblaze. Trailblaze will removing Marowak from the field of play. Back out comes Dugong. Dugong looks for the Ice Shard farm down. Unable to get it. We Sucker Punch farm down and take that game. Conviper just keeps winning, heading into the next battle. Another Shadow Drapion lead. Thankfully next season Crunch is receiving a nerf, hopefully meaning Drapion is less common. We say switch into Primeape, farms the Ice Punch bait with the Rage Fist, and the opponent correctly no shields. Conviper going to shield up the incoming Aqua Tail, go straight for the next Rage Fist. As this Rage Fist is boosted, it likely forces our shield back. The opponent actually happy to take their shield advantage and then send out Gator, but Gator not going to appreciate these double boosted karate chops or this Rage Fist. Conviper attempts to trap the opponent into the CMP so they do not win. The opponent takes the extra Shadow Claw and then opt to throw energy rather than take any more boosted karate chops. We send out Cacturne. Cacturne going to be greeted with the Hydro Cannon. Whilst this is resisted, Shadow and Shadow Crime does almost all our health. Conviper shields up the Hydro Cannon. The opponent not wanting to get farmed down. Send out Cradilly. We've got the energy for the Dynamic Punch. We're not running it. Throw the Trailblaze. Trailblaze goes unshielded. What the heck is this opponent saving that shield for? I think we just Incinerate farm down everything from here. Rock Tomb picks up the knockout. Typhlosion comes in. Incinerate farms down Cradilly. Gator re-enters the arena with a shield to hide behind. The opponent can save that shield for next season, which thankfully isn't that far away. And we take that game. And that is going to draw to a close at set number 1, where Conviper goes a beautiful, perfect 5-0. Buckle up, because we've got 2 more sets to shoutcast, and this is going to be one hell of a ride heading into the next battle. We lead Shadow Typhlosion into Shadow Alolan Sandslash, that absolute dream lead. The opponent needs to retreat, and they send out Shadow Drapion. I'm really surprised to see the opponent not go straight for the Aqua Tail. Switch takes a turn, so they could have went instantly for the Aqua Tail. So 1 turn for the switch, 4 Poison Stings, that would have been 9 turns into our 10 turns, or 2 Incinerates. Conviper able to keep Typhlosion at near full health, and he sends out Cacturne. Cacturne just looks like it's being used as a damage sponge. Not very often you see Cacturne tank 2 moves, but it is able to survive 1 Aqua Tail, and the second one does remove us from the field of play. Conviper now sends out Typhlosion. Typhlosion going for the 1 shield, full Incinerate farm down. And hopefully it's time to blast burn something to the face. The opponent sends out Azumarill, 1 Incinerate and the Thunder Punch. If you're wondering how Conviper plays at such a high elo, despite running this very glassy team, you can see his fast move timing is absolutely immaculate. We fire off 1 further Incinerate and the Thunder Punch. We then see the pivot into Primeape, not wanting to see the farm down. However, this game's going to get quite dicey. That Azumarill is still alive. And potentially it's going to bubble farm our Typhlosion down before we incinerate farm them down. The opponent even smartly saved their final Protect Shield for Azumarill. Oh boy. The question now becomes, can we incinerate farm them down before the opponent bubble farm us down? Oh. Finally the win streak comes to an end. GG's to that opponent. Conviper is looking to bounce back and he finds himself an awful lead. He's got it all to do. Carbink certainly is not what Typhlosion is looking to see. We save switch into Primeape, baiting out Decidueye. Conviper doesn't throw on the CMP tie. Are we going to try and Karate Chop farm than a Ghost type? Surely that isn't possible. Conviper actually took the extra, then goes for one Karate Chop and the Rage Fist, recognising if the opponent wants switch advantage, that is going to cost them both Protect Shields. Conviper fires off the next Rage Fist. He does force the opponent all shields down. Typhlosion going to come in, one Incinerate will knock out. However, we are going to have to tank a Spirit Shackle in the process. Typhlosion instantly no shields. Spirit Shackle does decent neutral damage and lowers our defense. We pivot into Cacturne. Carbink banks some energy before sending out Superior. And this is certainly where Dark Pulse is going to come in handy. We really need this to one-shot. Dark Pulse! Oh, heartbreakingly, it's agonisingly close. Getting Superior into the red, but not enough to knock out Cacturne. Gets the Sucker Punch farm down. Back out comes Carbink. Carbink continues to farm up, allowing us to reach the Trailblaze. Trailblaze hits for super effective, but Carbink is incredibly thick. Power Gem, Rock Slide, I don't know, whatever this thing learns. Any move will knock us out. Out comes Typhlosion. Typhlosion commits to the Blast Burn. Why? I'm not entirely sure, as Blast Burn would have been resisted. Would Thunder Punch have knocked out? I'm not entirely sure, but I would have thrown it, and unfortunately this one does end in heartbreaking defeat. I have just looked on PvPoke, so Shadow Typhlosion firing a Thunder Punch at Carbink does 19.8% of their health. I think that would have been very close to knocking out. Heading into the next battle, we see Shadow Typhlosion into Malamar. The opponent tries to make a Thunder Punch catch onto the big fat bunny, and it ends up in a simultaneous KO, with Conviper sending Primeape into the arena. We're able to force the opponent's final Protect Shield with the Ice Punch. Whilst Ice Punch is super effective, it wouldn't have done anywhere enough damage to merit a knockout. The opponent lightly shielded, fearful of a close combat. We send out Cacturne. I think Conviper's calling this as Home Slice Henry's team, with Tinkaton in the back. So with that logic, he's going to save the final Protect Shield for Typhlosion. We really need the team call to be right. Come on, trainer. Please be a copycat. We are spamming the switch. Back out comes Malamar. We go straight for the Thunder Punch. And unless it's Tinkaton, I think we lose. What is that third? Oh, hello, trainer. Nice to see you. To see you nice. It is indeed Tinkaton. The opponent desperately trying to Fairy Wind farm us down. Unable to do so. Reach the Blast Burn and take that game. Excuse the horrible voice crack there. Believe it or not, I'm 36 years of age. This is just the third shoutcast I've done today, and clearly my voice is struggling. In the next battle, what the heck is on my screen? Shadow Dialga. The opponent is taking ridiculous Incinerate damage, despite the Incinerates only being neutral. We pivot into Primeape, attempting to snipe. The opponent saves Dialga and send out Marowak. We go straight for the Ice Punch. Oof, big damage. Almost picking up the one-hit KO, but not quite able to get the job done. It looks like Conviper's putting all his hopes and dreams on Cacturne. As long as they're not like a fire type, fighting type, or a charmer, or anything with fast move pressure for that matter, a two-shielded Cacturne is normally pretty good. Out comes Gliscopod, of course this season, running Shadow Claw. If this was next season, the Fury Cutters would be shredding through our HP. Conviper attempts to make a catch. For no reason whatsoever, the opponent tried to Shadow Claw farm down, unable to do so. This game's just over. Two-shielded Cacturne simply cannot lose. We go straight for the Trailblaze. Trailblaze removes Dialga from the field of play. We're going to Sucker Punch farm down Gliscopod, and Conviper will be emerging victorious. GG's, and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle, we see Clodsire in the lead, despite us being a fire type and then being a ground type. Typhlosion more than holds its own, especially if you can land that Blast Burn. Conviper going to call this only a Sludge Bomb and not the Stone Edge, which is a huge call. Stone Edge, of course, would have easily picked up the one-shot. Conviper fires off the Blast Burn, obtaining that shield advantage, and Primeape hits the field of play. We see the instant shield deployed, blocking up the incoming Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb does a lot, let's be honest. Primeape takes a lot of damage for more or less every charge move. The opponent then sends out Corviknight. Conviper gonna fire off the Rage Fist, whilst the first won't do too much. It does vamp up our attack. Conviper now actually going for the Ice Punch. Ice Punch does do more, and it looks like Conviper has made a fantastic call. He's able to Karate Chop farm down afterwards. Back out comes Clodsire. Clodsire instantly greeted with the boosted Ice Punch. Ice Punch goes unshielded. Primeape looks for that Karate Chop farm down, able to get it. The opponent doesn't want that work, and they concede the match. Primeape popping off. In the next battle, we see the battle of the Incinerate users. The opponent says no thank you, say switch into Malamar, and we respond with Cacturne. The opponent almost certainly go for a foul play bait here, but Conviper gonna opt to play it safe, invest that Protect Shield, and right on cue there is that foul play bait. Undeterred, Conviper gonna fire off the Trailblaze. Trailblaze forces our Protect Shield back. It looks like the opponent wants to get us all shields down, and Conviper more than happy to oblige. This is where things get interesting. Talonflame likely returns and might be expected to fully wall our energy. I did wonder what we're running Dark Pulse for, and I think this might be it. Does the opponent respect the damage? Dark Pulse, get that Talonflame off my screen. The opponent fucked about, they found out. Although I better hold that thought because we're in somewhat of trouble here. The opponent sends out more Pekko. We respond with Primeape, but Primeape straight in and straight out. Aura easily picks up that one-hit KO. Conviper gonna send Cacturne back into the arena. The opponent looking for that resisted Thundershock farm down, but unable to get it before Cacturne reached the Trailblaze. Trailblaze forces the final protection. The opponent able to Thundershock farm us down. Unfortunately, despite that huge boom on Talonflame, this one is going to end in heartbreaking defeat. GG's to that opponent. Running such a glassy team, you definitely do not want to see a Morpeko with shield advantage in the back. Heading into the next battle, we see Typhlosion into Furret. The opponent throws a very nice timing, as you'd expect around this elo. 7 Sucker Punches and the Swift. We're going to invest the Protect Shield, go for the correct 1 Incinerate and the Thunder Punch bait. Thunder Punch won't actually KO from this range, but we are doubled up, so the opponent shields the first. We could fire off back to back. Whilst I don't often bait, I do like this play. It just guarantees damage on Furret. Thunder Punch is survivable, but the Karate Chop Snipe from Primeape is not. Beautiful play. And out comes the Kentucky Fried Chicken Bird of Death. Conviper going to unleash the first Rage Fist. The first Rage Fist, very easily survivable, but the boosted one would not be. The opponent opts to throw instantly, looking to deny Primeape's energy, but Conviper like, no, trainer. Primeape still got plenty more gas in the tank. 2 further Karate Chops and the boosted Rage Fist. Rage Fist goes unshielded and down goes Talonflame. The opponent putting all their hopes and dreams on the Pancake, or as most of you call it, Unova Stun Fist. The boosted Ice Punch forces the protection. The opponent is able to fully Thundershock farm us down, but we've got Cacturne. Cacturne should sponge this energy, but the question now becomes, can we survive 2 moves? It looks like the answer to that question is certainly yes. Conviper farms up, makes the catch back onto Typhlosion. Is it necessary? Not really. Super necessary in my opinion, and that is going to be all she wrote. Why not put the stamp of authority in a battle when the opportunity should arise? It also makes for entertaining content. Heading into the next battle, beautiful lead, although problematic say switch. The team doesn't really have a great Annihilate answer. Let's see how Conviper plays it. He fires off the Thunder Punch, obtaining that early shield advantage, and we actually incinerated this thing into a range where a singular Rage Fist, non-boosted, will knock out. Conviper invests that Protect Shield on the incoming Rage Fist from the Angry Ape. In this battle of brothers, Primeape fires off the Rage Fist, forcing that Protect Shield. The opponent is going to reach 1 further Rage Fist, and we've now got a decision to make. Conviper, despite being low, recognises we've got no great way of removing this Annihilate from the field of play. Opts to shield, fire off the Rage Fist, but the opponent sees that play and make a very nice catch, catching back onto Ninetales, but this just sets up a farm down for Typhlosion. Typhlosion Incinerate farm down, leaving with the Thunder Punch good to go. Does Annihilate return, or do they show their third? The opponent opts to show their third, which is a Feraligatr. Thunder Punch rocks the opponent into the red, quick switch into Cacturne. Cacturne able to Sucker Punch farm down. Annihilate is energy dry. We're able to withstand the counter damage, Sucker Punch farm down, and take that game. Heading into the next battle, we see the Pancake in the lead position. I was kind of anticipating a pivot into Primeape, but let's see what Conviper's cooking up. The opponent throws 7 Thunder Shocks and the Mud Bomb. I think here you've got to undertap the Blast Burn and throw out poor timing, because if you look to go for good timing, the opponent's already able to reach Mud Bomb number 2, and we're now down both Protect Shields. Conviper farms up all the way to 100 energy, and at this point I anticipate the opponent just letting it go and taking their 2-shield advantage. The opponent actually shields the Blast Burn, so clearly they have something that doesn't want to see Ty in the back. We fire off back-to-back Blast Burns, getting both Protect Shields back, and there is the other thing that clearly don't want to see Typhlosion. As we send out Primeape, and the opponent sends out Jump Off as a response. Ice Punch, double super effective, but unfortunately, as they're a non-shadow, one just doesn't do enough damage. The opponent full sends the Acrobatics, not wanting to risk getting hit with another charge move from Primeape. We send out Typhlosion, do Incinerate farm down, but unfortunately our free cycle, meaning we don't leave with the Blast Burn. Back out comes Stunfisk. We fire off the Thunder Punch, just wanting to stall off our switch timer, and Cacturne hits the field of play. The opponent banks a charge move for the road, send out Ferret. Oh man, is this where no Dynamic Punch will hurt us? Dark Pulse, oof, who needs Dynamic Punch? Sorry Cacturne, why did I ever doubt you? Dark Pulse still removes Ferret from the field of play. Mud Bomb doesn't get the job done. We Sucker Punch farm down Stunfisk and take that game. Heading into the next battle, we see Drapion in the lead position. On paper, it looks like a problematic Pokemon, but Conviper has been able to navigate his way through numerous Drapion leads to this point in the video. Let's see if he can do it again, although this battle looks objectively harder as our Primeape Say Switch is answered by Grumpig. Looks like the opponent going for the classic one shield, fully Psywave farm down, leaving with all the energy in the world, or not. Trainer, why didn't they shield? I'm super confused by that play, but I'm not complaining. They then send out Drapion to try and sponge the energy. They lose almost 2 Pokemon and then concede the match. I'm not entirely sure what they was expecting. The boosted Rage Fist clearly would have knocked out. They were already below half health. Conviper able to pick up the dub, and that is just about going to wrap things up for today's incredible showcase. I'll be honest, this looks like an incredibly hard team to run. I personally wouldn't recommend it. You can see some of the best battlers in the world, which I honestly think Conviper is able to navigate his way through some very tricky matchups with some near perfect energy management. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button if you're new, consider subscribing if you like your battles featured on my channel. A link to my battle submission form is down below, and as always, a huge thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.